If you have any questions or concerns about this week's episode, please call or text producer Dan at 778-288-9255.
Start the party, Dan! It's time to turn it up. We're getting crazy, going wild, talking nasty stuff. Dude scrolling hell's like butt up, fire, boom, roast, mad post, sticking up the replies. We don't want to go to school, we don't want to get a job. We just want to get online and get our asses blocked. We don't follow the rules, we do whatever we want. It's Block Party, the podcast like we're tweeting a duck. Block Party, Block Party, Block Party, my mentions are fucked. Block Party, Block Party, Block Party, I quote tweeting a duck.
Hello, friends, idiots, and friends who are also idiots. Welcome to your favorite podcast about social media and rejection. It is Blocked Party. This is episode number 293. I'm John.
I'm Stefan.
And with us is a first-time guest on the program. Thrilled to have him here. Very funny comedian who is just about to record an album coming up July 9th at Dynasty Typewriter and hosts a very funny podcast called Is This What You Want? Matt O'Brien is here. Hi, Matt.
Well, Matt.
I didn't have to give you any of my credits. This is, man, you did all the work.
John's a pro. John is a professional.
Absolute pro. Thank you so much. Oh God, I'm dying. What the hell was that? Hold on.
My intro was so good. You're choking on it.
Choking on the niceness. No,
you've been in LA too long, man. This is you've changed.
Yeah, changed. Yeah, Matt's different. He's always choking on stuff now. He never did that in Toronto.
Yeah, you're a full-time. I mean, how long? You've been in LA now for what, like 6 years? 5, 6 years?
7 years.
Wow. Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
It's minus, escaping for the pandemic back to Ottawa, but
right.
Yeah, 7 freaking years down here and still going, still here. That's why you asked me before we started recording. You're like, how are things? I'm like, still going. Like, I don't know. That's everyone in LA. That's their number one answer. It's like, I'm still here. I don't know. What do you want from me? Sometimes it's good. Sometimes
I'm doing
it's
what
bad.
LA people do, you know. It's just the stuff. We're doing the stuff.
Still plugging away, rolling along, chugging along. That's my favorite one too.
Oh yeah, chugging along. I feel like I'm
along.
getting to that age where I'm gonna start just saying chugging along. I feel like that's an age related.
You're almost 40, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not saying, look, I think 40 is fine. It's okay to be 40, but
I'll be 39 this year. You're similar in age to me, right, Matt?
I'm 39, 40 in March.
Okay. Yeah. So we're the same age.
Yeah.
So you're just a little. You're gonna turn 40 before me. Are you crisising about it?
A little bit. We did book a trip to Europe in September because I've never been in my life, and then Julia.
Nice.
My wife took a bunch of ADHD medication and booked the whole trip rapid fire. So it was like she took like a Vyvanse, and then within an hour, she's like, "We're going to Paris, Portugal, Spain." Like, how did you book all this in an hour?
That's so funny to do that instead of like organizing your pantry. You know?
Yeah, I know. That's how she uses it. So I don't think that's the prescribed use, but it worked. I'm a little bit. I mean, 40's nothing. Like the older you get, the more you're even like 50's nothing. I have friends that are like 50.
Yeah.
And then,
I think that's part of it is having friends in your friend group who are older. So you're like, well, they're still like normal. So maybe I can still be normal too. You know? Yeah.
I mean,
but I haven't been normal for a long time, Stefan. That's my
no, but that's because of me, I think. So that's my fault. Yeah.
Yeah, you've probably made me a worse, like not a worse person, but like worse in my brain for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. I feel like I'm kind of in the same boat, Matt, where I don't feel like too crisisy. It feels deeply weird. Like 40 feels like the first age I will turn where you're like, oh, like I'm old. Like I'm kind of old. Like
it's been drilled into us
old.
That's an old age as a kid. You're like 40. At least I'm not 40. Or like everyone that does those like wedding packs is like, if we're not married by 40, like that's the tipping point.
Let's kill ourselves. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's all commit suicide, mass suicide.
Yeah.
That's how the pact goes usually, right?
Yeah,
I think that's how it goes for sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's true now that I'm thinking about it. When I turn 40, the fact I am already married is going to disappoint several women.
Yeah. And they'll call you on your birthday.
Absolutely. You guys still married? What's going on?
John has a Halloween birthday too, which is great. I love that.
Oh shit, spooky.
Yeah, I'm a little spooky guy. Yeah, I'm wearing you'll see this on the Instagram or if you're watching the YouTube video, but our second wedding anniversary just passed and it's the cotton anniversary.
I can't believe it's been 2 years. That's crazy.
So Becca had a shirt made for me that says wife guy and it's got a bunch of pictures of her on it.
Can I say something?
You can.
It is a little confusing that it says wife guy and it's not pictures of you. Because it does sort of imply
you're the wife guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's like you're the wife guy, and obviously that's your wife.
Yeah.
But like I think like because it says wife, it's like if
it would be very weird if it was just pictures of me with the name with the word.
Well, no, I
guy.
mean I get that, but it is like if you had that and it was like
every shirt is a hockey guy.
Well, what if
just
you
like 5 pictures of me?
What if you had like Kiss on there, right? And then it was a bunch of pictures of Gene Simmons' wife instead, right?
I mean, Shannon Tweed, a pretty,
Sure.
pretty popular.
That's
lady.
right. The softcore queen.
Yeah, in her day, I mean, the shirt is great. Becca got it for me as a joke. She
That's
wanted
an
me to
Instagram
be,
ad shirt, right? Like
she wanted me to be. Yeah, I think so. She wanted me to be very clear that she doesn't expect me to wear it out in public to be like warding off potential suitors.
Yeah.
Back up, women.
Yeah.
This is my
in
life.
case you didn't see the small wedding band, I have 5 large photos of my wife on my shirt.
Can you stand up so we can see it fully?
Yeah,
here?
sure.
Yeah. God, that's really good.
Look at that. Very detailed.
And he's wearing jorts too. So that's just, I mean.
These are not jorts.
Oh, sorry.
These are linen.
Okay. They did from the lighting, they did look like jorts.
They are a similar color to jorts, but these are linen shorts, which I will say, if you're listening to this and you don't own linen shorts, it's time to get in the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're not owning linen shirts, linen clothing in general, drape yourself in linen. And
well, it's just getting hotter out there, right?
Yeah.
So you got
crack
to
a rosé and throw on a linen shirt for God's sake.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're so breathable, and I'm I run very hot. So for me, linen shorts, it's a good move. I mean, Matt, you're LA pilled now. Like you must have a really great just like summer collection.
Well, your shirt you're wearing now is
literally wearing an open Hawaiian shirt with chest hair exploding off my body.
It looks great.
Thank you. It is funny when I go back to Toronto and I'm still dressed like LA and people are like even it out here. Like you're not dressed for the city anymore. You're not flopping around Palm Springs.
Do you have kind of the hardcore like Canadian hoser friends who are just like fuck, but like fucking we get it, man. You live in LA, bud. Like holy fuck. Like,
oh yeah, when I go to Peterborough, Ontario, where my family lives, it's the classic. I mean, I think every comedian gets this. They're like, oh, fucking Jerry Seinfeld shows up from Hollywood. I'm like, yeah, it's me, Jerry Seinfeld from Hollywood. Thank you. Are you still working for your dad's landscaping company? That sounds nice too.
Yeah, he's making quadruple what you're making.
Yeah, really.
Like, yeah, it's pretty fucking good, man. Dad finally got me my own truck.
Yeah,
and fucking
I have 2 hoses.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right?
I'm still renting.
I know. I had a friend like that who very good friend of mine growing up. And he dropped out of university with 1 semester to go.
What?
Because he was working for a construction company, and then they had like someone fairly high up quit, and they like offered him this promotion that like doubled his salary. He was like a geography major. He's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this anyway. They're offering me this amount of money, a truck, like all this stuff, and he's like, I don't know, maybe I'll go finish it eventually. And now he is like easily the guy I know that has made the most money of all my friends.
Wow.
Like,
for sure.
He ended up getting like high up at a different construction company. And now he's just like, he owns like a very nice detached house in White Rock, BC.
Could he technically go back like 10, 15 years from
I
now
think
and still like
how
long do the credits stay active, I guess?
That's a good question. I think you can go back.
Probably can,
time.
Right? Yeah.
I
think
like
they expire. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, why would you? Who cares, man?
Yeah.
School's a scam, dude.
Yeah.
I guess you're a teacher, aren't you?
I'm not anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh, I thought you were. I got shit.
I know. That's recent. I moved to Calgary. I don't know if you know that I'm in Calgary.
Oh, I didn't
now.
know that.
Yeah, and when I moved here in September, I'm finished teaching.
Probably a good call moving to Alberta and not staying a teacher, I think.
Well, I mean, I think, we've talked about it a lot, but definitely good call moving to Alberta. Like they actually understand what's going on in the world here.
Of course.
So that's really
nice,
that's
right.
You know, with all this sort of,
What was the vibe like during you were back for part of the cup finals, I guess, right? So what was the
Cup, yeah.
what was the vibe like with Edmonton in the finals?
There's lots of Edmonton fans here.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna
you
say.
would see, like, if you're around downtown on like an Oilers game day, you would see like lots of Oilers jerseys and stuff.
It was the same thing here too.
It is weird because, I know people talk about like the Battle of Alberta and whatever, and maybe there's going to be some Calgary fans who listen to the show that are going to be pissed off with me saying this, but like Calgary, and maybe it's just because the Flames are really bad right now.
Sure.
But like the city doesn't have the feel of like a great hockey city. Like
that's kind of what I've heard.
I know that like lots of NHL players come from here. Like I think like the minor hockey and everything here, it has a big hockey playing culture. But you don't get the same sense, even being in Vancouver, and certainly, compared to Toronto, you do not get the sense here that people are like massive Flames fans and like living and dying with the team.
Yeah.
So it was weird because I would have thought, the Oilers Cup run is on, like people are just like hoping upon hope that the Oilers do not win the cup.
Yeah.
And I had quite a few, like I'm on a softball team here and like they're all Flames fans and they were like, yeah, we were cheering for the Oilers.
That
like,
is loser shit. That sucks.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God, that pisses me off. I think Canucks fans hated them more than Flames fans this year, which is, I mean, obviously they beat them in the playoffs, so that was part of it. But like if they had won, I just like, I couldn't be online for like 2 years probably. Like it would have just been such a disaster. Now it's like, Matt doesn't know anything about sports. So I'm
you
sorry,
said you're
Matt.
not a sportsman. Did you ever like play hockey or anything? I mean, you grew up in Southern Ontario.
No, I played baseball. I got pretty good at baseball. I just am not a competitive guy, so I'm like, even when I'd strike out, I'd be like, well, what are you gonna do? And the coach would be like, what the hell? Get in, get angry, get into this. I'm like, nothing, none of this matters. I don't care. And like, my dad never watched sports, so it wasn't like a dad like bonding thing with sports. So I just never got into it. That's why I'm in the arts. I'll do it. Also, hockey is expensive, dude. You got like all the equipment, and then all my friends that played hockey, they'd be up at like 3 a.m, going to the fucking rink, and it's like, I don't have time for this.
Soccer is way bigger out in Vancouver, partially because you can play it. It's like the only place in Canada where you can play it all year round.
Sure.
It's also because all the guys in Vancouver look like Stefan. They're all like
hot little twinks.
Yeah, all little wafy boys. We can't have you out in the frozen ice.
No, I would have gotten killed. I
think
out
of the field.
I think like I played a lot of like ball hockey and stuff because that's kind of big out here in the summer. Obviously, I think if I was a hockey player, I would have gotten killed, but I would have been such a shithead on the ice too because I would have had like big guys on my team to like protect me because that's how I played soccer growing up too. I was like a shithead when I played soccer. And it was so much fun.
Healthy little freak.
Oh, and whenever I would like jump up for like a header in the box or something, I'd be throwing elbows and stuff. Like I was a dirty player. And it was so I think with hockey, it would have been like, I would have been just like a little like Alex Burrows style, like pest basically. And it would have been but I would have also gotten my head taken off and like died on the ice. So, it's probably good I went with soccer instead.
Well, I learned this recently and I didn't know they were doing this, but this actually kind of makes sense to your point, Matt. Like my nephew is 7 and he's like he's going to be 7 this year. And he's like starting to want to get into playing hockey. And hockey's so expensive now that like what Hockey Canada is doing, which I think is really smart, is you sign up and it's like a 2-month program and they give you the equipment, like you borrow it, basically.
Oh, okay.
So then because in my day it was like, if you want to try hockey, you just got to go buy all the equipment.
Like
and then
thousands of dollars.
And then if you don't like it, the equipment's just gone. It just sits there. So they like you sign up, you get like 8 weeks of like skills and learning how to play and seeing if you like it. And they lend you the equipment, which that seems to me like a really nice idea.
Because I know like hockey, like playing in general for like young people is like falling off a cliff right now in Canada, I think, because it is so fucking expensive. And like soccer and basketball are moving up and like baseball and stuff too. Like soccer, obviously, and basketball just like so easy to play anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I sort of wish I like I can skate kind of, but not really that well. And like no one out in Vancouver can really skate just because there's so many other sports you can play year round instead of hockey, but there's just not really like a hockey culture out here compared to literally the rest of Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to work at SportChek in high school.
Nice.
Okay.
I worked at SportChek too.
Really?
Wow.
Shit. But as you know, don't play any sports. I had to fake it every day with the hockey equipment, especially because I would always sell hockey equipment and I always be like, oh yeah, this is the kind of stuff I use on the ice kind of thing. So I would always say that. I'd be like, yeah, I wear this on the ice. And they look at me and I was pretty athletic. Like I was a fit guy and they'd be like, oh, if this guy's using it. And I sharpen skates and stuff like that. No idea what I'm doing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They definitely did not let me sharpen the skates. I think they knew I would have maybe killed myself.
Well, I came pretty close. I didn't know that those bumps at the front of figure skates were for stopping. So I remember they gave me a pair of figure skates and I just buzzed them off.
Oh,
I thought it was like an out of the box new thing. I was like, oh, you got to buzz this off. And so I gave the skates back and they're like, what did you do to my daughter's skates? I'm like, yeah, there was these weird bumps on them. Like, I got the bumps off.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that's amazing.
That's really funny.
So did SportChek have to like replace the skates or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
They
were pissed.
Yeah. Because I know that like when I was growing up, a lot of the places wouldn't sharpen figure skates. Like you would have to go to a special like if you're competitive, like when my sister was competitively figure skating, we lived in the suburbs of Vancouver and my parents would have to drive to Vancouver to get her skate sharpened because that was the only place that like knew how to sharpen figure skates or whatever.
Because guys like me, it probably hit the wire and they're like, don't bring your figure skates to SportChek.
Yeah, you can't be taking it that seriously if you're getting your figure skate sharpened at SportChek. It's probably all over.
You couldn't have been the first guy to do that for sure, right? Like that seems totally like, yeah, that's really fucking funny. Oh my God.
I was like that with skis. Like I had never skied in my life. And as you can imagine, working at like a Vancouver area SportChek, we sold a lot of skis and snowboards. And I was just so out of my depth. I mean, it was just insane. And you'd get people, I mean, realistically, like if you're buying skis or a snowboard at SportChek, you're not that good at it. So it doesn't really matter that much. Like you're not getting some expert that's coming in that knows way, way, way more than you. But the more intimidating ones you would get would be like guys who had skied when they were kids. And like we're good at skiing and then are like, I haven't skied in 20 years. I want to get back into this. I'll get some skis at SportChek. So they had knowledge, but not like modern knowledge.
Yeah.
Just like, these are pretty good.
These are good. They're straight and flat and they'll get you there.
They'll get you there, baby. And I'll buzz off the tips. Oh, why are these skis come to a tip? Doesn't seem right at all. I've only seen water skis before in my life. I'm like, this doesn't look right.
Have you guys ever gone water skiing?
Oh yeah, we're from Ontario, dude. Of course we fucking water.
Well, no, I know, but I like for me, I've gone wakeboarding, but not water skiing.
Wakeboarding for sure.
Was
not water skiing.
Oh, you've never water skied, Matt?
No, I don't know anyone that owns that. It's too theatrical water skiing. It's always something that's like, you know, those like old timey where they're like stacked like a pyramid and it's a bunch of women in bikinis and they're like, it's the thriving 60s and life is life and everyone's living. It's like, that's how I picture water skiing. It's like the war's over and everyone's outside.
Oh man, I had some crazy summers at the cottage trying to sleep with the girls in the pyramid, you know? Like, oh, can I get the top of the pyramid this summer or what? That's funny because I would have. Did you grow up in Ottawa or did you grow up in Peterborough?
London, Ontario.
Oh, London. Okay. But there's lakes in London. Like I'm surprised.
There's a few lakes.
Water skiing was big for us. Like wakeboarding kind of happened when I was like a teenager. Like it wasn't really a thing. And then my dad was just like a huge, you know, if you listen to my dad tell it, he was basically a championship water skier, which
I would love to see your dad water ski.
He was actually insanely good at it. But
I guess he's got a low center of gravity, which would help in terms of like balance, right?
My dad's a short dude, but he would do like the one ski and he could do it where like he could get fully, like almost fully sideways where his shoulder was like touching the water.
That's
and,
impressive.
Like, he was very good at water skiing. And he would do like, he could do the, like when he was done his run, they would go by the dock and he would let go of the tow rope and glide in and then just like sit down on the dock.
That's really good. Okay. What about tubing? Have you guys gone? Looking back at tubing now, it's like if I did I would go tubing like at like a friend's place or whatever in the summer every couple of years, right? And looking back now, if like I did the tubing I did then now, it would kill me legitimately.
Yeah.
Like, because we would be going as fast as humanly possible and just getting like launched over the wakes, or like we're in BC. So sometimes you'd go near where like the ferries were passing and you'd go over the ferry wakes and just get launched like 20 feet in the air. And you'd be on there with like 2 other guys and just like slamming your heads together in midair. And like it legitimately, I think it would just like put me in traction for like several months if I did any of that. Because if you fall out to, you're like skimming along the water at like 60 miles an hour.
It's
and
like concrete. Yeah.
It's brutal.
Speed, yeah. My dad used to, we used to strap a GT snow racer. Brett Hull GT snow racer to the back of a snowmobile, and he'd drive me around. It was the best.
Oh my God.
That sounds so awesome.
It's so dangerous. It was like I was falling off that thing, hitting like fence posts all the time. My dad's just laughing his ass off. Like, it's like a legal way to kill your kid, I think. That's what he was
as soon as you brought up tubing, and you maybe went through this too, Matt, it was like every lake had like the dad that you would hope would be driving the boat, because he would be like, I'm gonna fucking kill these kids.
Reckless dad.
You know,
loved reckless dad. Drunk dad, I guess is what it was.
Like, because there would always be the dads who just like, you know, they wouldn't even kick the boat into high gear.
Nerds.
Because they're nerds, but they're also like smart. Like, I don't want to kill my neighbor's child. And then you'd get the one dad who's like, you know, had 4 beers and was like, let's get these kids off the tube. Let's see what we can do, you know.
And it would be legitimately frightening.
Oh,
like when you're back there. It was so
you don't know
scary.
this, man. Yeah.
No.
Especially when you do, like, when they do kind of a donut in the boat and the tube starts careening towards the wake, and you're just going straight sideways and then up.
It's like skimming, right? Because it'll be like bouncing along the water, not even going in the water, because you're going so fast that, like you said, Matt, it's like concrete. Like you're just skimming along this hard surface. And then
did you ever Superman it, where you'd hold the tube like this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was. But then when you fell off, like stomach first into the water and just getting like destroyed,
smashing your nuts on the hard water. Yeah.
I guess part of it with the dads is that like they're not going to do that. Like they're not going on the tube at their age, so they have to like sort of live vicariously through like killing their own kids.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no practical reason to buy a speedboat, really. Like, you know, there is, I guess, for, you know, you wouldn't fish out of sort of like a family style speedboat.
No.
Like, yeah, I guess you can go on kind of, you know, boating trips or whatever. But mostly dads are just like, I'm going to get the fastest boat possible so I might be able to murder my child and their closest friend.
Fingers crossed. I always wanted to do the bare feet water skiing. Those guys that can do that. Can your dad do that?
I wonder if he could back in the day. I'd have to ask him. But yeah,
his feet are probably too small, right?
That's true. My dad has size 5 feet.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's a short. My dad's like 5'5". So
hell yeah.
He's a tiny, little tiny guy. But yeah, like I don't think the way my dad describes it, like, because he grew up with like a family cottage, which was then the cottage that like I went to when I was a kid. And he's just basically sort of says like, and I don't know that he did acid, but his friends did for sure. And it was just like, we drink all day, do acid, and like water ski. That was like the combo.
What a life.
Like,
have you seen the wakeboards that are like they're like wakeboards, but they don't have like the foot, like the straps for the feet?
Right. Yeah.
Wake skating, I think it's called.
Wake surfing.
Yeah, wake surfing. That is crazy.
Because you don't attach to a tow rope with that either. You just like you start with a tow rope, and then you drop it, and then you just surf in the wake.
Yeah. I've tried that. I've never been able to actually successfully do that. But like wakeboarding was a lot of fun. I was able to like jump over the wake a few times. Again, trying that now, it would just like destroy my knees. Like
I tried surfing recently. Like
actual surfing.
Actual surfing. My buddy surfs every day, and I grew up snowboarding. I snowboarded a lot actually.
Sure.
And I was like, oh yeah, same thing. I'll be able to do this, no problem. And absolutely not the same. It was an absolute nightmare. It was like it was a pretty choppy day. And then the first wave I hit, I tried to stand up, fell off, underwater, board hits me in the face.
Oh.
And then come up, wave comes in, slopping around. I was like, I thought I was going to die. And then I come back up. And he's like, okay, let's do that again. And I was just like, okay. This is good. I was like, I wasn't wearing long enough shorts too. I didn't realize that board shorts were like, there's a reason they're so long. It's because my bathing suit was too short and I was wrapping my legs around the surfboard and it was just rubbing, chafing
Oh shit!
my fucking sweet little Irish thighs the whole time. It was a nightmare.
Oh my god! Yeah, surfing seems like extremely difficult.
Yeah,
It feels like surfing is, I know that there's like other kind of extreme, or not extreme sports, but where you can kind of have like a general aptitude for it if you're good at other stuff. Like if you're good at, if you're good at snowboarding, you're probably decent at skateboarding. Or like I was pretty good at skiing, like snow skiing the first time because I'm a good skater. So there is some like, comparable skills and moves. Whereas surfing, it just feels like there's nothing you can be good at where you're just going to be naturally good at surfing right away. From everything I hear, it's just like you're just bad and it hurts the whole time.
Yeah. Like I've done like stand-up paddleboarding and that's like not that difficult once you get your balance, because you're just kind of standing there, right? And then, but surfing, it's like way faster. You're going, like, it just seems insane.
and there's like legit surfers at Venice Beach too. Like that's where people like go to surf, and then I could feel. The worst was there's people watching you. Yeah. And they're like, well, let's see what this guy can do. And I'm just like sucking my own dick in the water, like just absolutely getting destroyed. And they're like, I don't even think that guy's from here.
They're like, he's not very good at surfing, but he is surprisingly good at self-suck.
He's really going down on himself. Hey, Venice is for weirdos. That's what they say.
That was sort of the positive of tubing, is that you didn't really have to be good at it. You were just like sitting there, and like holding on, right? And no matter how good you are, you're going to get launched out of it at some point, right? But God, that was, man, tubing was really fun. I do kind of in my head now, I'm like, man, I kind of do want to try it again, but it would just kill me. Like I'm 100% sure it would just like snap me in half now. Like,
have you guys done the snow tubing? I've always meant to do that, but I've never done it.
Like at Mount Seymour in Vancouver, they had where you'd go down the hill in the tube. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, that's a lot.
Is that good? It seems like it's fun.
That is quite fun. Yeah,
it's really good, especially when you take somebody out by the legs too. That's the best part. They're not paying attention. You smash right in their legs, flip them over.
Yeah,
there's nothing I could do.
You can't control the tube. Once you're going down the hill, you're going down.
And the tube gets a lot of speed too. Like sledding and tobogganing stuff isn't huge out in Vancouver just because it doesn't snow, but we do have the mountains, obviously. So like there is like tubing at Seymour, and I want to say maybe Grouse or Cypress as well, but it is a lot of fun. It's really, really good.
Yeah. I think what we're learning from all these tubing activities is that you have legal immunity for anything that happens to other people around you.
That's my
I had no control. I was not in control. Anything could happen.
Yeah. It's the tube's fault. It's not your fault.
I gotta start doing it.
Yeah.
I want to do stuff with no legal immunity.
No punishment.
That's where I'm at.
It's probably going to start snowing there again in like a month anyway. So like you could just do it then.
Probably.
Yeah. How late did it snow this year? Was it May?
We had a snowfall in May.
Christ. Damn, dude.
But it melted like immediately.
Sure.
It was fine.
Yeah.
And then, last year it didn't snow till kind of late. Like we had one snowfall in October, and then it was like, okay, this is the start of winter. We're here. And then it kind of didn't snow for like 6 weeks. We didn't have a consistent like snow base, really. There was maybe like 3 weeks in, I want to say like February or March, where there was snow on the ground every day. Yeah. But with Calgary, it's true what they say. It's just kind of like the weather here is so crazy that like even if it snows one day, like it can be totally gone, like 100% gone the next day. And you can get like a blizzard. Like we had days where it was like we got 20, 30 centimeters of snow, and then you go to sleep and you wake up the next morning and the snow's gone.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Calgary.
It's fucked up, man.
Calgary's where I got COVID for the first time. I'm very proud of that. Cool. Yeah. I know. I was doing the comedy club up there. And then came home sick as hell. Finally got it. And I was like, it's just nice to have a Canadian strand. So that was nice.
Well, no one here is vaxxed, Matt. That's the big, everybody has COVID here all the time.
Yeah. It was it's crazy how instant it was. All these years, I was like, I'm probably gonna get it at this concert. I'm probably gonna get it here. And then I'm in Calgary for one weekend and just sick as hell.
I've never tested positive for it, but I'm like sure I've had it like at least twice.
Oh yeah, it's been in and out.
Yeah, I just feel like I still don't know how to do the at-home test. Like
you've actually had it like
doing your
5
ears.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it finally got me in December. That was the first time I'd ever tested positive, and it was like I tested positive with a bullet. Like that was the reddest a COVID test line
Yeah.
has ever been.
That was mine too. Yeah, I came home. I'm like, I think this might be it, and the test is like pulsating and glowing. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it.
Because you go through so many tests where it's like, is it like you're imagining you see a faint line? Maybe I'm holding it up to various light sources, and this one was just like within a minute of the sample being on there, it was just like
sizzling.
Fuck me. Yeah. That just I got it when I traveled. I got it in BC actually. So I've yet to get the Alberta strain.
Oh man, it's a doozy. It's a good one.
I'm sure that'll be coming my way.
Yeah.
I didn't get it in the UK though. I didn't get it at a Limp Bizkit concert. So
that is honestly shocking. Yeah, that's crazy. I just feel like at a Limp Bizkit concert in Belfast, it is kind of like the Simpsons bit about Mr. Burns and like all the diseases trying to fit through the door at the same time.
Yeah,
there's just too much stuff happening at the Limp Bizkit
I got
concert.
several communicable diseases,
and they all just cancel each other out.
Bizkit in Belfast, but somehow COVID not one of them.
Yeah, they just started fighting each other.
Did you actively seek that concert out, or did you stumble upon that?
Yeah,
okay.
We haven't talked about this on Block Party yet.
Yeah, I think we talked about it on the mailbag episode, but not on the main episode.
A little bit, but not on the main. Yeah, Matt. So similar to Julia, and maybe not, maybe not inspired by ADHD medication, but my wife had booked us a trip to Europe, and it was funny because we knew we're like, okay, we're gonna go to Europe like start of June-ish, and we knew we wanted to do the UK, and then I guess Becca, but we hadn't booked it yet, and then I guess Becca started looking at like concerts, like for Christmas. What would be a cool concert to get John tickets to if we're going to the UK? And then it just happened that Limp Bizkit was playing in Belfast right at the beginning of June. So we sort of booked the trip around it. Like not exactly, but it was just like, well, we have tickets to see Limp Bizkit in Belfast. So
God.
So I went to that and I met Fred Durst. He was on my flight from London to Belfast.
Jesus.
So I met him. We got a pic.
Nice fella, that Fred.
He was pretty nice. It was like it was a long travel.
He's at the airport.
Apparently.
So
he was at the airport. We overheard their guitar tech because his whole crew was on our flight as well, and we overheard the guitar tech saying that it was a 20-hour travel day for them. They had played a festival in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and then they were traveling from Santa Fe to London.
Jesus
to
Christ.
To Belfast.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? That's like that's one of those bands where everyone's like, oh, what happened to Limp Bizkit? Those guys are probably not fucking doing anything and literally traveling the world still. Like,
yes. Well, they didn't do anything for a long time. And then basically like I started a new metal podcast and it brought new metal back.
Wow.
And so now like Limp Bizkit kind of owes me a lot of money actually.
Yeah.
No, but they what happened was Lollapalooza just like brought them back a couple years ago and people just fucking loved it. Like it just, I think Lollapalooza kind of did it almost like half as a joke sort of. And then it was live streamed. So the show was in HD. People at Lolla were having a great time. People were watching it on the live stream. They're like, Limp Bizkit kind of slaps actually. And then ever since then, they've just played these like massive festivals. And like the show in Belfast, I would say there was 30,000 people there. It was an outdoor show. And it was like, and people were pumped. Like it was wild.
Any fights or anything in the crowd, or was it a pretty positive?
No, nothing that we saw other than a guy getting dummied by security. He kind of was like running right by us, and then security, like 5 security guards chased after him, and they like put him in the ground, and then he got kicked out, and his shirt was all ripped and shit. But
what a perfect concert to get the shit beat out of you too. That'd be the I got the shit beat out of me at a Limp Bizkit concert. Perfect. That whole sentence is perfect.
Yes. Yeah. And he just kept being like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. He just kept saying that to the security people all the time. I didn't even do anything. It's like
they were singing break stuff and I started breaking stuff.
Yeah,
what the hell?
They did which I thought was amazing. They both started and closed the show with break stuff.
Amazing.
So, yeah. That's really what you want. I mean, that's a band that gets it right there.
I wish I could do that as a comedian. Just open with the best bit, close with the same good bit.
They're like, we loved that bit. Bring it back. Bring that bit back.
Yeah.
It is weird though. I have found, and maybe you have, Matt, too. Like I know, you've opened for some bigger comedians where, there was always, I feel like there was this kind of prevailing wisdom that like people didn't want to hear bits that were already on specials or whatever. But I feel like that's kind of coming around a little bit. It feels like people do want to hear, they're getting to the point now where they do want to hear the bit that they've already heard again. Have you noticed that too?
Absolutely. Yeah. When I started posting clips on Instagram, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, that's every comedian. They're like, I'm wasting this on Instagram. People are not going to want to see this live. And I remember I did one of my jokes at a club down here and I didn't do the full joke. I just did the first half because I'm like, I'll just keep the show moving. And then some guy in the front row goes, wait. There's more to that. And I'm like, what? He goes, no, finish the bit about ghosts. He's like, there's a whole other section that you didn't do. And I'm like, oh, do you recognize this from Instagram? He goes, yeah, I don't want to hear the rest. I'm like, okay. So I did the rest of the joke for him.
That's awesome.
That's
and
really
I've gotten that after shows being like, I saw that bit. I was hoping to see the full version of it, but you just did a little bit of it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. See, it hasn't happened for me personally, but I just know like opening for Nate Bargatze and he went into the like Starbucks like milk with ice joke and literally people were like, yes, yeah. Like they just start clapping like almost like the opening riff of a song.
Yeah.
Where like people like they recognize the riff and they're like, fuck
they're
yeah.
Just grooving to it.
It was just like, so, I was at Starbucks and people are like, yeah.
Well, it's sort of like when Jim Gaffigan would ever start talking about like Hot Pockets, right?
Yes.
People, that was the first thing where people just go ape shit. Or even just like Andrew Dice Clay doing like the nursery rhymes and stuff. Like that's a little different, I guess.
Hey.
Well, I saw Brian Regan do like encore like request bits. People just yell bits. He's like, what bits you want me to do now? And then they'd be like, do the snow cone, do snow cone bit, and then he do the whole snow cone bit. And like,
that's awesome. Yeah. See, I feel like comedy it's coming around.
Yeah.
We're good. We're getting closer and closer to having our like full encore moments.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of weirdo encore moments, let's move on to our social media updates.
What a fucking good segue. Now let's move on. It's time to discuss what popped up in your feed. Who are you following? What did you see? Sports or politics, tweets and skis, hot takes on the TL or fast food freaks. It's our social media update.
Matt, we always like to start with the guest. What is going on your social media?
Oh, so much, everyone. Always bipping and bopping around. This actually happened yesterday. There's a burger place opening up near my house. It's my favorite burger in LA. It's called For the Win. I just gave them a free ad.
Nice.
But they are opening like 3 minutes away from me. And they posted on their social media. And I just responded to their story being like, oh my God, so pumped for you guys. I was like, if you guys want a guy to dress up like a hamburger and cartwheel around and pump up the crowd, like I'm your guy, like just said it as a joke kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they responded yesterday and they were like, send us your contact information. We'd like to discuss something. I'm like, what? And I was like, so you want me to do it? They're like, yeah, we'd love to incorporate you somehow in this grand opening in this burger place.
Wow.
And so they haven't responded to that yet, but I'm like, what did I accidentally get involved in here?
Yeah. Were you just hoping to maybe get some like free burgers out of it?
I just wanted a free burger. That's all I wanted. And I learned that the grand opening, they're giving away free burgers anyway. So they're like, first 100 people get a free burger. I'm like, well, then what do you want from me? Like, you're going to
be wearing a burger costume in like 35-degree weather.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
and they're gonna be the promise of free burgers will be promotion enough. They will not need you to be like, hey, guess what's going on over here? Knowing LA, there'll probably be a line of 500 people by 9 a.m. for a free burger.
Yeah, and there's been no discussion of payment or anything. So, and I guarantee whatever they offer, they're going to be like, well, you begged us to be a part of this.
100%. You're going to be like, I just wanted a free burger, and that will be what they offer you. They'll be like, look, man, we'll give you a couple burgers if you want to stand.
Maybe like a shirt. They probably have some merch they could give you.
I would love a shirt. Yeah. It's I just be careful about, especially because when you're verified on Instagram, like people take you very seriously.
Yeah.
It's like, and they see you as some sort of promotional tool So it
Yes.
was like, I was like, oh, I got to be more careful with what I'm just commenting on and just poking people.
That
So,
happened to me with Inglehofer mustard, and I didn't have to do any like promotion for them, so to speak. But I said that they were my mustard of the year,
hell yeah.
and tagged them in it. And then they sent me. It was how much was it? It was like a dozen.
Four.
It
Was it that many? I thought
it was a
only
lot.
like a 4-pack.
No, it was like I think it was like 12. I think I just gave you 4 of them.
That's possible.
But they sent me like every flavor of mustard they had.
I love that.
And it was great. It is.
We tried to make them the official mustard of the podcast, but
that
they
that didn't happen.
they turned us
unfortunately.
down.
I
Well,
guess
they didn't respond. They didn't even
No.
respond. I was like, you sent my freak friend like a bunch of mustard.
Yeah.
Sponsor the show. We'll be
And
the
their mustard
official
mustard is really good.
It is
they have
really good.
great mustard.
But they
Yeah.
smartly realized that we were just going to talk about their mustard anyway. We're
Yeah, so
already.
why
This
pay
was
us?
literally
It's
like
already
4
working.
years ago.
I'm
and
still
we're fucking
talking about
bringing
it.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
still talking about it.
My wife has been doing that lately where she's just been asking companies for free stuff on social media. And it's been working a lot, actually.
Yeah.
It's
like, what's the worst they can say is no. Right?
Exactly. And we've like hotels is a big thing right now. Like she'll be like, hey, give us 3 nights at your hotel. We'll make like a dumb video about it. And 90% of the time they're like, no, sure. Like it's just ask. Like it's just so stupid. Or like there was a wine company. She just DM'd them being like, hey, we like your wine. Can you guys send over some wine? And they sent us like a case of wine. And
Hell yeah.
and we're like, do you want us to talk about it on a podcast? And they're like, no, just have some wine. That's how easy it is for them. Stupid.
Damn. That's
Damn.
really good.
I got to get more followers so I can get some.
Oh,
some
you just ask
wine.
for shit.
We said some nice stuff about Lasco fans on our Twitch stream. And they sent
Great
my
fan.
co-host who lives in Nashville. They sent him like 3 free like Tower fans. It was
hell yeah.
insane. It was so good. Yeah.
There's too many Tower fans for a house, by the way.
I agree. but-
Just sitting in the center of them, just swirling.
yeah.
Yeah, should we send this guy 1 fan? No, make it 3.
shove
He looks
two-
like a
two more.
3 fan kind of guy. Okay, Matt, like let's get into it. What's the rate? What would you do? Let's say burger costume 4 hours. What's the rate?
Like it would have to be thousands of dollars.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at least thousands, hundreds. No.
Yeah.
I never know with this shit because it's all so stupid as is. So I'm like even when companies ask me to like tweet for them or post, they're like, what's your rate? I'm like, I didn't know this isn't a business. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. Like thousands. I always say thousands. It's like, how many thousands do you have?
Yeah.
Give me a couple of those.
Give me a couple of your thousands, please.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, that's what I would
Yeah.
love.
Also,
Yeah.
if I'm in the burger costume, I would hope I get to keep the burger costume. At
Sure,
least.
yeah.
I mean,
That's
I'm gonna be sweating in it.
Yeah.
So
It's
Yeah.
going to be disgusting afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, because you're right. Like I feel like with corporate comedy gigs, you get a sense of what you're worth like over time and just like what a corporate gig is worth. You know, how many people are going to be there? How long do you want me to do? Do I have to travel? Like there's all these factors where you can add it up and it makes sense in your mind. But when it's something like that where you're like, okay, do you want me to tweet about it? Are you scripting the tweet? Is this going to fucking piss off my follower? Like when you're trying to weigh that shit, it's like, I don't know. It's an economy that makes no sense to me whatsoever.
it's fair. And I used to be self-conscious about my followers because I'm such a goofy, stupid idiot on online. And then if all of a sudden I'm like, well, I really do enjoy Mr. Clean magic erasers, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. If you pick up a box of those, they're gonna be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
But I
I
think
mean,
people are more
that is a great
understanding.
product, by the way.
They are good.
All joking aside.
I have no idea how they work. Like
It
I don't.
genuinely feels like magic.
It's crazy.
I don't
Yeah.
want to know. I guarantee in 10 years they're going to be like they're the worst thing you could touch
Yeah.
with your skin.
Yeah. This is giving your house cancer somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're destroying the world. Absolutely.
Why are my
but-
walls coughing? That's crazy. Stefan, what's going on your social media?
Look, I've been trying to avoid American political stuff because it's so bleak and depressing.
What? No,
Yeah.
get in there, buddy.
And I didn't watch the debate or anything, but obviously I saw some clips and pictures, and it didn't go well, I think. But there was an article written about Joe Biden and by Alex Thompson, and said, inside the White House, there are sometimes 2 Bidens. America saw the other one Thursday night, and someone quote tweeted it and said, Obsessed with this specific turn of phrase that makes Biden sound like a video game Easter egg encounter or some sort of Rumpelstiltskin and not a guy with dementia. And the phrase is, it's a bullet point, the time of day is important as to which of the two Bidens will appear. So
it's like something from Zelda. It's like,
Yes.
if you're out in the field at this time of day, and then the man might run by and he'll give you a sack.
It's like trying to find Mew at the SS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was great. And it's fun that people can, I guess, we can still find something funny about like horrible, depressing.
Oh my God, man.
Well, you guys can. You're in Canada, for God's sake. I'm down.
Yeah,
here
but
in
I
the
mean, Paulie
shit.
Evers for sure going to win the election. So
Yeah.
that's the thing that
Not
sucks
great.
also. It's like, I saw people being like, thank God I live in Canada. And it's like, well, we have already a mid prime minister and he's about to be replaced by the most right-wing prime minister we have ever
And
had.
also, like, all the stuff anything that happens in the US affects us up here a lot anyway. So it's
for
like,
sure.
it's not,
Yeah.
but it's just like, I can't.
During the debates, my family was texting me. Like, the second they started, they're like, we're worried about you down there. Like, it's like these two old men fighting, and then all this. My family never texts me, and they're like, we don't think you should be there.
Yeah.
Like,
I
okay.
mean, it's crazy. I used to, like, my job back in 2016, I worked for like a comedy website, and we had to do like jokes about the debate and like political comedy stuff. And like, I'm so fucking glad I don't have to do that anymore. It's so crazy to go on Twitter or Instagram or whatever and see people like riffing about the debate live. And it's like, you don't have to do this. You can be like reading a book right now.
You can do anything else.
Do literally anything else
Yeah.
than this. It's just so, oh my God, it sucks. But anyway, I thought that was funny because that guy nailed it. It really does sound like something you'd see in a video game guide.
Or like a Charles Dickens book or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Really,
an Edgar
really good.
Allan Poe short story.
Yeah.
Because
You
that was the
don't
biggest
know.
defense for why Biden was like that. They're like, it was late for him. He was tired. It was after 9 p.m. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I think he still has to do president stuff after 9 p.m.
Yeah, totally.
He just he looks so fucking old. It's
Oh,
crazy
bad.
how old he looks.
I just feel bad for him. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way he wants to be doing this.
No.
There's no way.
no.
So it's just like whoever's propping up, pulling his puppet strings or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
is that how you want to die? Like, he feels like he's going to die soon. I don't
Yeah.
think I would want to die working every day in what is ostensibly a very
the
busy
worst job in the world.
Yeah, like let me die in my cabin in Delaware or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, this is just, it's so insane. Like, I just, I and you're right. Like, I was saying this to Becca the other day, just even him coming out and saying like, well, I don't really walk and talk like I used to. Like, if a presidential candidate said that in the 60s, they would be on the moon. They would be like, oh, well, okay, you can't run. Then what do you mean
That's
you
your
can't
job
walk
is
and
to
talk?
walk and talk. Yeah, that's your one thing. Also, I mean, to die in the White House, that's pretty fucking sick. You know what I mean? Like, that's, Imagine you died in the White House. That's pretty cool. What a
You
house
become
to
a
die
good
in.
trivia question. That's
Yeah,
true.
because how many probably who is the one where they shoved a bunch of shit up his ass to try and cure him? Was that Garfield, I think? Not the cat, the president. But they like
That was my favorite series of Garfield
They
comics.
tried to get him to stop eating lasagna, and they
Yeah.
put a bunch of
Yeah.
medication up his ass.
I think, did he die in the White House? I feel like he did.
I feel
but
like Harrison died.
Harrison, he died in 30 days, famously.
Yeah.
But I know Garfield, I
William
feel like
Henry Harrison, yeah.
they shoved a bunch of shit up his ass when he died, or before he died, to try and like cure him.
Okay, James Garfield ass.
Yeah. See
Yeah,
if we can
today I
find-
learned that President James Garfield was fed through his anus. He died with a butt full of beef and bourbon, according to this cracked.com article.
Like steaks, like flank steaks.
I'm
What did
just
they put
looking
up
this
there?
up quickly.
It was like ground beef, maybe. Did they have ground beef back then? They would have.
Says
Yeah.
perhaps one of the most
Chunks.
flabbergasting cases of deep medical mistreatment comes from the 20th president of the United States, James Garfield. You may know James Garfield from bar trivia as the president that everyone forgets was assassinated. But the more you learn about the attempts to save him, the more it becomes apparent that the assassin's attempt may have only come to fruition when doctors tried to fix it. So even though he's listed as assassinated, historians are in pretty solid agreement. His actual cause of death was massive infection from stuff like having an entire team of doctors poking around inside his body for a whole summer without putting a glove on.
Jesus Christ.
Apparently, the assassin himself argued at his trial, the doctors killed Garfield. I just shot him.
I mean,
Yeah.
because he died of a ruptured splenic artery aneurysm following sepsis and pneumonia. He died in New Jersey, by the way, like on the beach, because they were like, it's like too swampy and hot in DC. So this is back when they thought fresh air could cure you, I guess. So like, let's bring him to the beach. And
They're
just
saying he died of a gloveless butt fingering. That's what we're saying.
Saying that. It goes on to talk a lot more about like the way that they mistreated this bullet, because I guess the bullet was lodged in his body and they were trying to find it.
Yeah,
they had Alexander Graham Bell come by with a metal detector of his own design to attempt to locate the bullet.
Oh my god!
So they're all treating this guy like a couch, like rooting through the couch cushions.
And then it says, understanding this, so he lived for 2 months, which you can't do without sustenance. Understanding this, the doctors put their ill-informed heads together and prescribed, and as much as I hate this as much as you do, quote, rectal feeding. It's exactly what you think it is. They shoved food up his ass.
Oh my god.
To be clear as well, I do mean food. We're not talking about suppositories or any sort of medical concoction. We are talking about egg yolks, beef bouillon, milk, and yes, bourbon. These guys were piping alcoholic versions of Rocky Balboa's breakfast straight up Garfield's exit.
Jesus. So like they fucked up so bad. So several inserted their unwashed fingers into the wound to probe for the bullet. One doctor punctured Garfield's liver in doing so. Bliss and the other doctors who attended Garfield had guessed wrong about the path of the bullet in his body. They had probed rightward into his back instead of leftward, missing the location of the bullet entirely, but creating a new channel which filled with pus.
Right.
That's so funny to be.
Was this guy so ugly they thought his ass was his face?
He had done so much damage trying to find the bullet by squeezing his face. They couldn't tell the difference anymore. Apparently his last words were, this pain, this pain. His cause of death was heart attack, a ruptured artery, and massive full body sepsis.
That is so crazy. God damn.
The final stroke of black comedy would be if the physician had looked up from Garfield 100 pounds lighter than when treatment started, with a gunshot wound that had now been expanded to an almost 2-foot long incision with beef bouillon leaking out of his ass, and told his wife, we did everything. That was written by a friend of the show, Eli Uden.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, from What a Time to Be Alive. So shout out to Eli. Very great article on crack.com. And why am I not surprised, Stefan, that you know about the president who died from having beef shoved up his ass?
Of course, yeah. I have to know about that.
It's a good first date question.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
John?
Who's your favorite president? Well, it's a tough question, but I think it's got to be the guy that died with
old
meat
beefy
shoved
buns.
up his ass.
Yeah.
Speaking of shoving meat up asses, this is really good stuff. You guys, keeping with the new metal theme of this podcast, you guys may have seen that new metal lost one of its figureheads this week.
Yes.
The lead singer of the band Crazy Town, Shifty Shellshock, passed away. Unfortunately, I think he was 47. This got this Reddit post recircling around when he died. And I had seen this one previously. It's from quite a while ago. But Christy Yamaguchi Main was the one who I had seen it from again. But this is a Reddit post from Mupton Bossman. I met Shifty Shellshock at a random house party in Long Beach in 2003. We smoked for a bit and shot the shit. I had no idea who he was at the time, but he seemed like a cool guy. A few hours later, he introduced me to his girlfriend and asked if I wanted to have sex with her. I declined, and he got pissed at me and told me that I would forever be a virgin. Bracket, I was dating my future wife at the time, and then he left in a huff. To this day, it was one of the strangest experiences of my life, made even weirder when I found out who he was.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what I would expect from that man. But
I just think that's that's pretty sick. If you die, people are like, it's what people say about you in death, right? That's what they really thought of you. And that is definitely a cool story, not like, I met Shifty and he was really great. Took a bunch of pictures with my kid or what. It's just
that's the one story.
Wanted me to fuck his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And,
that reminds me. You ever see that video of Mark McGrath all coked up outside of a bar?
Yes. Yelling at the guy.
That kid yells "sugar gay."
Yeah. One of the best videos of all time.
It's outstanding. And then he keeps calling him a fart. he's like, you're a fart to me. You don't even mean anything. You're a fart. It's so, and no matter what happens with Mark McGrath, that's the only thing I'll think about.
We've had a couple encounters with Mark McGrath.
Yes.
We tried to get him to do a cameo for us where we had a thing going on where we were seeing how far we could go with cameos that referenced the previous cameo we got from like a different celebrity. So I think we were asking Mark McGrath to apologize to Pauly Shore on behalf of Kato Kalin or vice versa. Was that what it was?
Yeah, it was. No, it was apologize to, because this was when Mark McGrath went viral for doing that cameo where he like broke up with the guy's girlfriend. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And so he was kind of on this like apology kind of thing because it was, he's like, oh, sorry, Brandon loves you, but it's just not the right time or whatever it was that he was saying. And so we had we decided to get Mark McGrath to apologize to our listeners for getting a cameo from Kato Kalin, I believe was the was how it worked. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, he said no, but he was very nice. He was like, he emailed us back and he was just like, I don't think I really understand this. And I don't know if I want to be able to do this. And so then we ended up getting him to do a cameo for us where he just apologized he apologized to himself on our behalf for asking him to do that cameo.
Yeah.
So stupid.
He was great. He had a good, so the other thing was when John McCain died, there was footage of his like funeral, and I put When It's Over, the Sugar Ray song, over top of it and like added some like reverb so it sounded like it was actually being played in the big like cavernous hall.
Oh my God.
And I posted it. I was like, kind of a weird choice for John McCain's funeral. And he quote tweeted it and was like, is this real? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And I had to tell him it was fake, and he's like, okay, well, that's pretty funny. So he had a good sense of humor about it.
People are getting duped by audio editing so easily these days.
Yeah.
It is so easy to edit audio. That's my biggest
Well, it's not
viral.
getting crazy with that. It's not.
Audio is easy. Anyone can do it. I could do it. Any idiot. But that's the first thing I went viral for is I made a video saying that I could connect to my neighbor's Bluetooth speaker. And I made a song where I was singing "Turn Your Fucking Music Down," like "Turn your fucking music down, music down, music down," and I edited all that, and it got like 19 million views on TikTok or whatever. Like 100,000 people followed me because I was like the Bluetooth neighbor guy.
Yeah,
and I got interviewed by like some Australian news channel about it, and I told them I was like, it's fake, like it's, and they were like, oh, that's not the news story we want. I was like, I'm sorry, it's not real. I can't.
Yeah.
Tell it was also featured on this A&E show called Neighbor Wars.
Oh my God.
They messaged me.
Amazing.
Well, first of all, I told everyone it was fake, and then they emailed me and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you." It was like a couple $1,000. It'd be like if we can feature it on our show, Neighbor Wars, and I was like, "Absolutely, it is real, and any questions you have, I will answer them." So it's on like season 4 of Neighbor Wars, and I just took the money and like whatever. But it's
that's amazing.
That's so funny
because there was a video of Drake singing that Kendrick Lamar diss track at one of his concerts, but the audio is so obviously edited, but it got shared by so many people, and they're like, I can't believe he did it.
Yeah,
like we're all stupid.
Well, the ones that piss me off, it's a thing with like going back to sports. Sorry, Matt, but you'll see like post game interviews with like Connor McDavid, where he's like talking shit about the city that he just beat or something, and it's like the fakest shit in the world. It's so obviously fake for multiple reasons. Like just take a second to think about it. He's not going to be saying that sort of thing. He's the most boring guy alive. He's not going to be shit talking the city, and also it looks and sounds so stilted and so fake, and it's just his mouth move. Like it's the fakest thing in the world, and you get thousands of people who think it's real and are like, oh my God, he's so cool for this. Or like, oh fuck Connor McDavid for doing it. And it's just like, how are you this stupid? How are you allowed to vote? Like your vote cancels out my vote. This sucks.
It's also weird. What I think is even worse is I've seen some of those accounts where they make it very clear that it is fake.
Yes.
Where they're like, this is a joke. Here's like a joke of Connor McDavid doing a press conference. And it's like, who thinks this is funny? And you get people in the comments like, LOL, oh, so good. You got Connor roasting Vancouver or whatever. It's like, Oh my God, this is like the worst form
It
of
sucks,
humor
man.
I
It's
feel
so
like I've ever
lazy.
seen.
Yeah,
Ugh,
really
anyway,
bad.
speaking of bad forms of humor, let's move on to our block tale.
What did you tweet? You brought receipts, Blocktail, woo! No longer can see the post, it's a Blocktail, woo! You probably deserved it, it's a Blocktail.
All right, Matt, the floor is yours.
Oh man, I had a couple, but this is one I'm hoping other people do that because I've been doing it my whole adult life. Is I blocked my landlord.
Nice.
I don't know that
Okay.
we've had that.
Yeah.
Okay, and I have always done that. I always block my landlords on all social media. And it's not that I do anything weird at their properties. It just feels so weird to me. Because I did see that she tried to follow me, my latest landlord, and I immediately blocked her. And she knows that I blocked her, but she hasn't brought it up.
Right.
And I don't know. To me, it just kind of felt like I'm like, I need to block this person because it felt like they could just like, you know, those like paintings with the moving eyes
Yeah,
in the house. I was like, that could be her. She's watching me in her property. And maybe she sees something weird. Maybe she'll see like something that I haven't patched up yet. And I'm just so paranoid. I've had so many shitty landlords.
yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want to give them any extra ammunition.
That's smart, I think.
Have
That's
you
smart.
ever had a landlord notice and like acknowledge it?
No, never.
Okay.
My last landlords in Hollywood, they're so old. They didn't have any kind of technology. I remember they tried to keep our security deposit, and this was like peak COVID. And I was like, well, we're going to take you to small claims court, and it's over Zoom, by the way. So you have to have a computer with a camera. And they were immediately like, here's the money. Like,
Yeah, because they would have had to buy a laptop that would have cost the same as the deposit, probably. Anyway,
they still had flip phones and stuff. So I was like, they have no technology.
That's a smart tactic. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, every landlord before that current one, I think it's something that should be more common practice.
That's really smart. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Like, so you're thinking that it's not so much that you are worried about them seeing, you know, that you do a goofy comedy video or whatever. It's more that you're worried that they'll see the state of the apartment.
Again, not that it's like, I mean, you're looking at it.
Yeah, it looks fine. It looks great.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just such a paranoid person that I'm just like, I don't want an extra set of those eyes. I mean, maybe her husband could follow me or something. I always have this thing too, where I'm just like, because sometimes I have little stand-up clips go viral or whatever that maybe she's tried to click on and be like, oh my God, that's the guy that lives on my property. And she clicks on it and she can't see it. She's like, yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, because I feel like that would be a really tough thing to bring up. But I could see there being a person who would be like, did you block me on Insta? Like, or especially like if they're talking to you just casually and they're like, oh, I'd love to see one of your comedy shows, or you start talking about comedy. Yeah. And then they're like, by the way,
why can't I see any of it online?
Yeah. Looking at one of your videos online and I got
extra
blocked.
Crazy because the reason we got this house that we're renting is because we showed them our stand-up clips because they thought we were like fun people.
Oh,
so,
that's good.
Because it's like hard to, because my wife's a comedian too. So it's like hard to be like, hey, we have stable jobs. I promise you.
Yeah.
So they were so like, oh my God, you guys are comedians. And then we sent them some videos and they're like, you guys are funny. This is great. Yeah, we'll definitely work with you. And then immediately after that, blocked.
Now, has Julia blocked them as well?
I don't think so, actually.
Okay.
It's funny you bring that up. I don't think we've had this discussion. But yeah. Oh, actually, hold on a second. I got to grab. She's at the front door and it's locked.
I thought he was joking for a second, doing a bit. But no, if you're not watching the video,
the
Matt
dog's
did
going crazy
actually
too. Yeah.
go unlock the front door. And I guess their dog is home as well. So
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that.
No, that's totally fine. We were joking about how originally I thought you were joking, but then I heard your dog, and then it was like, oh, okay, that's
wife
real.
went to the old farmer's market. Since she's back, she didn't bring a key. Classic.
Yeah.
Classic wife stuff. But you guys know me. I'm a wife guy. So
You love your wife.
I love my wife, and I have various shirts and other things that indicate my wife guy status.
If that shirt did have your face all over it, it would look like you're desperate for a wife. That's
Yes.
you walk in the
that's
room,
true.
Please make me husband man. I'm wife guy.
It would be very, very strange. Okay, we have a really great listener block this week. And this one, I will say, Stefan, you and I have talked about on the show before when we have guests on, the block tale, it's okay if you kind of stretch it a little bit. It doesn't always have to be exactly some kind of, tale of woe or of anger or whatever. And this one is very funny because there's one detail in this story that it makes the entire story worth it.
Okay.
And you'll know it when we get to it. So this is from James. Hi, Block Boys. I was recently listening to an older episode where you guys mentioned wanting to watch the Rob Schneider Dispassion Project daddy-daughter trip.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
And
about
I
that.
thought I should send it your way just in case. Now, this is where it gets good. Last year, I watched every single Rob Schneider movie in a very short time frame, and the result was about what you would expect sanity-wise. While I could stream or pirate most of them, this movie was particularly difficult to find since it was barely mid by Rob Schneider standards and managed to avoid being marketable to pretty much any demographic. So there was no theatrical, DVD, or even streaming release after the initial screenings. So I was finally able to track it down on a website that licenses out family-friendly movies to church groups that can be shown at community nights by pretending to be a youth pastor so they would let me purchase a copy for $99 US.
Oh my God.
I don't encourage anyone to watch this movie, but if other people want to subject themselves to Rob Schneider as a sort of punishment for their sins, it would be hypocritical of me to stand in their way. I guess you could also count this as a block tale since I blocked all my friends on Letterboxd so I could log the movies without them finding out what I was doing until it was too late. But that's not really what's important here. Do not enjoy James, and then true to James's word, he sent us the copy of Daddy Daughter Trip.
I think we need to do a bonus episode about this.
I'm not even joking. The way they send it to people, the file name is Daddy Daughter Trip _Church Edition .mp4. So
Holy fuck!
I've never heard it. I'm just looking it up right now. It's crazy.
The trailer is brutal. We watched the trailer.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it. What's the conceit of it again? Is it his actual daughter that's in it? Because I know that she's like a pop star or whatever.
Oh, maybe it could be. I actually don't know.
Isn't she? She's a singer, right? I think.
I feel like that sounds right. This is like from 2 years ago, I want to say, because it was like peak COVID is when it came out around then. And it's just the trailer looks so brutal.
Also, it's like funded by Rob Schneider. Like he funded the whole thing.
Yeah. I think we need to do a bonus episode of this.
Adam Sandler's wife is in it.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Adam Sandler's
Elle
wife.
King is his daughter, and she is a singer.
Okay.
Yeah, crazy. She's a 4-time Grammy Award nominee.
Jesus.
It looks like she does. It looks like she plays like country or like bluegrass music. Because the picture on her Wikipedia is of her playing a banjo. And this is even funnier. The caption is King at the 2015 Interstellar Rodeo. Which is apparently an outdoor music event held in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Hey.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Hey, good for her.
Yeah. We need to 100% do that as a movie bonus episode, I think. Like a watch along or something. If we have to, unfortunately.
I mean, if James is going to send it to us, we can't let James's $99
No,
go
exactly.
in vain. So fuck. All right. Fine. We'll watch it for a bonus episode.
Okay.
Thank you, James, for sending that in. Or maybe no thank you, because now I have to watch another horrible movie that I don't want to watch. But
hey, this time I don't want to watch it either. So at least there's that.
Thank you so much, James, for sending that in. If you want to send in a listener block, you can send us an email at blocked@blockparty.com, and maybe we'll read it on the show. You can also donate to the show at patreon.com/blockparty. $5 a month gets you access to 3 bonus episodes every single month. Last week, Stefan and I did a mailbag all on our own. Dan was still in Japan. And I was just coming back from the UK. I was jet lagged. So we just said, fuck it. No guest. no video, no Dan. We just did a old school mailbag answering your questions. It was a lot of fun. That's up on our Patreon now. There's also an exclusive Discord, ad-free episodes, merch discounts, and more. So check that out. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Block Party Pod, and on Blue Sky at Block Party. And if you want to see the video of this episode, it's available on our YouTube page, youtube.com/@blockparty. Of course, if you like the show, please tell a friend. We are now here at the end of the episode, and that means it's time for the top 3.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Uno, 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 uno.
Mustard.
3.
Socks. 2. Girlfriends.
Uno, 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 uno.
All right, Matt, what are we ranking here?
Well, I've gone this long. I'm sure you know that I really love Costco and all things
big
Costco.
Costco guy. Yeah.
So in the spirit of that, I would like us to rank the top 3 samples at Costco.
Ooh.
Okay. I haven't been to Costco for a while, actually.
That's
You
good.
can if you can assume a sample.
Okay.
You can
Yeah.
assume a product. I've got a couple in mind.
Love it. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm all in on Costco samples. Matt, can you give us your number 3, please?
Number 3 is cube of bread in a cup. That's very popular. You go to many Costco's, and that's always a popular one. They just slice up some bread, put it in a cup, and then they talk to you like you've never seen bread before. That's the best part.
We baked this.
Yeah. And then watching people, like, they still utilize the cup. Like, they don't pick the bread out. They'll be like shooting it.
Yep.
Shooting the cube of bread. It's one of my favorite to watch and experience. It's
Love cube of bread in a cup. Is it now when they do that? Is it like it's usually like sort of a specialty loaf, like a focaccia or something like?
Oh yeah, it'll be something. I mean, that's the thing. They'll give it a big talk. They'll talk big about this bread, and then you see it on the shelf, and you're like, well, that's just regular old sourdough. Like, that's there's nothing special about this.
Right. Okay, I love that. Stefan, you're number 3.
I've looked up I'm on r/Costco right now, the subreddit for Costco. Just looking up like what's the best free sample you've ever had, because I really have not been to Costco that often, but I do remember having and this is a classic grocery store sample anyway, but meatballs.
Oh yeah, they got that. Oh,
so I'm gonna say meatballs for number 3. Those are
that's a
great.
good little toothpick in there. Oh,
Yeah.
You get a free toothpick. That's the best part about that
great.
one. Free toothpick.
Yep. John?
Number 3, random drink you've never heard of. Drink brand. It's some kind of, could be like an energy drink, could be it's like Gatorade, but not Gatorade, just some kind of brand that you could buy 48 of them, but you've never heard of them before in your life. And again, you get the nice little cup. It's like barely enough to taste it.
Yeah.
But you're just like, yeah, whatever. I'm a little parched right now. I'll take a little sip of whatever sparkling assortment of fruits this beverage is, and I'm in.
You're tasting more cup than drink at that point.
Yes, absolutely. Because it's not. It's never like it's not a cup depth. It's more like a petri dish.
Yeah,
it's got that kind of like.
It's a sneeze of
long
flavor
and shallow. It's not like tall and skinny. It's very weird. Matt, you're number 2.
Oh man, I should have thought this out more. Dumpling. Sometimes they do dumplings.
Ooh,
a little dumpling. That because it'll be a little pocket, and you're like, man, there's a lot of. It's like a little meal. So it's like, and they're usually piping hot. They're like caution. They give you a lot of caution. They're like, careful with that dumpling. And and you slurp it down. It's very nice. I love dumpling. Dumpling in a cup.
We cook this dumpling on the sun, so you need to be careful.
This is the hottest thing you'll ever experience in your life.
Yeah.
Similar to dumplings, and this is another grocery store one, but I did see this in the subreddit as well. But little like pierogies, all the different flavors of pierogies. It's great. Anything with like where it's like with meatballs, it's the same thing. You have different types of meatballs. You've like one thing with like 4 or 5 different flavors, and you can try one of each. That's always very nice. So I'm gonna say pierogies for number 2.
I love that.
Yeah.
My number 2, I'm gonna go with they'll do this, and I like it, but I don't like it, and I'll just call it like assembled breakfast, where it'll be like yogurt and a granola, or like a different, like
in
an
a cup, I guess, or
yes, and or like an alternative milk and a cereal, where I like it because they've actually done ostensibly some kind of like quote unquote not cooking, but they've assembled this thing. But then the explanation gets double the length because they have to tell you about the yogurt and the granola, or the alternative milk and the cereal, or whatever. So you don't just get away scot-free with that one. It's like, oh, you can enjoy this yogurt and granola, but it's going to cost you a full minute of your time as they run through all of these options.
It's like getting trapped in one of those timeshare scams in a hotel lobby. It's just like, all right, I'll eat it. Fuck.
Yeah, fine. So yeah, that's my number 2. Matt, your number 1.
Number 1, and I experienced this recently, was hand lotion.
Oh,
yeah. And first of all, the reactions of people, amazing, because it's always food. It's never lotion. And I grabbed it thinking it was food. And she was like, she's like, please, this is lotion. I was like, okay, thank God you said something.
Because you think it was yogurt or something.
Of course. Yeah. And you could see, and she looked so stressed because she's clearly been saying that all day. She's like, it's lotion. It's lotion. Please. It's lotion. Please. Like, and it was like, I'm like, a lot of people are eating lotion in front of this woman.
That is
wow.
I had an ex who worked as like a promo girl, where you kind of just like, you do either samples or you'll go to like an event and you'll be wearing like a Red Bull outfit and handing out free cans of Red Bull or whatever. And I remember specifically, she did a lotion one once in the cosmetics department of a like department store, and they made her like hand massage people. As like part of the lotion thing. And they like taught them how to do it. Cause like with the promo girl stuff, it was always like, yeah, you got to show up an hour early or whatever, and we'll tell you, how we want this activation to go or whatever. And with that one, they fully had like someone teach them how to do like proper hand massages. It's like, you're just touching people's, you're like rubbing
so
people's
intimate.
That sucks.
It was so, I remember and she would just had a spirit of like, she really didn't care, but it was just like, I was like, that is fucking, I would quit.
That's yeah.
So gross.
It's one guy coming back every 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
You got just the wettest hands.
Stefan, you're number 1.
Again, this is from the subreddit, but I saw this and this has to be number 1. Very small bottles of Kirkland brand ibuprofen.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, man, I've never seen that one.
Yeah, that's really good. Because that is that's helpful. It's handy to have around, every so often you need one of those.
Most people have headaches in Costco, so that'll do it.
For sure. That's my number 1. It's just very funny. Non-food samples, it's just very funny to me in general.
It would be amazing, too, if there was some kind of like rule where you have to have it there. Like, we can't give away the drugs. So like if you want this ibuprofen, you have to take it.
Yeah.
Dry
I don't have a headache. Just take it down.
A little water or something? No.
Yeah.
Dry swallow.
My number 1 is like any type of like cocktail weenie / hot dog / smoky.
Yeah.
They've always got that going. Smells amazing. You get there. And again, it's some weird, it'll be like, oh, this is a cheddar and onion smoky from this company, and we sell them in the frozen section, whatever. And you're like, I don't care. I'm never buying these, but
yeah,
goddamn, I'll take 3 right now. I'll tell you.
I almost said that because I saw a woman chopping up corn dog pieces, and it was like a full. But then you'd see people come by and just reassemble into a full corn dog and just take like a full broken down corn dog.
Just getting toothpicks on either end.
Yeah,
and trying Yeah. Well, Matt, I mean, great top 3. I'm hungry now. Really great to have you on the show finally. Before we go, anything you'd like to plug?
I'm on Instagram at Matt O'Brien. That's the only one that matters. So please follow me there. And I don't know when this is coming out, but
it's coming out tomorrow.
Oh, perfect. July 9th. If you're in Los Angeles, come see me at Dynasty Typewriter recording a new album. It's called King of Kirkland. As you can expect, a lot of Costco jokes, and would love to see you out.
Amazing. Now, you like, was this true? Like, did you ever, I know you were trying to like track this down. Did you ever perform for Costco? I feel like there was some talks of like, you were trying to perform for their executives or something.
They played my stand-up at their shareholders meeting.
Wow.
And I got a message from a random reporter, and he wrote for some newspaper. He's like, hey man, you don't know me, but they're playing your stand-up at the shareholders meeting for Costco right now. He's like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, this is crazy. And he sent me the video, and yeah, it was a huge screen. People were dying. And then so I emailed corporate, and I'm like, hey guys, it's me from the shareholders meeting. It's like, and I didn't even know what to offer. I was like, if you need a host for an event or you want to hire me to perform, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh yeah, absolutely. We loved the bits and we'll keep you in mind. And I was just like, they're not going to do anything.
No, they're just like, no, we liked it when we just stole your videos for free.
Yeah.
We gave you nothing for it.
Meeting. Yeah.
So nothing has come from it. And they don't need me. That's the thing. They're so popular and they're doing fine. They don't need a shithead comedian being like, I like the lotion samples.
Oh man, that's I still wish it for you. I hope that if you put out an album called King of Kirkland, they hear it. I think one day it's going to happen.
Or they'll sue the pants off me. We'll see.
Yeah, one or the other. Yeah.
One or the other. Absolutely. Well, yeah, there you go. If you live in Los Angeles, absolutely go see Matt's show July 9th and give Matt a follow. Very, very funny on social media. You can follow us as well. Again, we're at Block Party Pod on most things, YouTube and Blue Sky at Block Party. And if you want to donate to the show, help us out. It's patreon.com/Block Party. We'll see you back here next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.